We can't be satisfied. When 52 senators said no to health care for all people, even though they get free health care because they got elected, paid for by the people, and even though 700 people died a day from poverty, 250,000 a year before COVID, and during COVID, 330,000 people died. Not because they caught COVID, but because they didn't have health care to address the disease. We cannot be satisfied. As long as 52 senators, Democrats and Republicans, blocked Restoring the Voting Rights Act, which continues to allow states to pass voter suppression without any form of preclearance, redistricting plans that are racist in their intent and suppressive in their application. Where even now there's a bill coming out of North Carolina arguing for legislative sovereignty that says once a state legislature passes bills on voting, no one can overturn it, particularly out of the state courts. That's not going forward, that's going backward. That's not the dream, that's the nightmare. We cannot be satisfied when 52 senators, Democrat and Republican, voted against the passage of the John Lewis for the People Act. And at least one of those senators, a Democrat, told John Lewis before he passed it he supported the bill. But in the wake of his death, chose to follow the way of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and others rather than protect the right to vote. But democracy is just not under threat because of what happened on January 6th. January 6th happens in many ways because we too often continue to compromise with lies, which only empowers extremism. Just a few days ago, some economists were suggesting that the way to deal with the inflation was to have more unemployment. In other words, make the people who already suffer more rather than making the wealthy pay their fair share. As long as that reality and this kind of regressivism exists, then our movement must grow. It must intensify. It must be emboldened. We must be committed to legislation, litigation, mobilization, and if necessary, nonviolent action. But what we cannot and will not do is be silent or unseen anymore.